So if someone asks you, can you cook? Would you say yes?
Okay,
Because
that's a
whenever
hard
someone
one.
asks me, I say I can cook for survival.
Okay, so again, as a boy, I would say I also cook for survival sometimes. If you have like really high expectations or standards of what you're eating, I suggest you go with the fresh. But I mean, if you're the average Joe, really, you could thrive with like frozen stuff.
You could thrive.
Yep, you could thrive. I mean, I'm still alive.
Okay.
I used to be a really, I'm not good handball player. I really maybe like aspiring handball player in general. I had too much hopes for that sport, but ever since I finished high school, I barely touched the ball again. I don't think I've played it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new episode of Alsinah Podcast, where languages intersect and stories are told. Today we have a very, very special guest, our brother here. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Ahmed Mustafa Basoumi, and I'm a
Can look at me, it's fine.
and I'm a Shaman university student.
You're a Shaman University student.
Mm.
How long have you been in Malaysia for?
So I think I've actually came here around sometime in 2016. Yeah, that's when me and my family moved here. So I've been here for almost nine-ish years.
What brought you here?
Hmm?
What brought you here?
So I think it was because of my dad's work. He just happened to find a job opportunity here to study it. Then he eventually moved. My parents and I, my mom and my brother, we all live here together, I guess.
MashaAllah. Do you still feel foreign, or do you feel like Malaysia is your home now?
Well, I do seldom go to vacations in Egypt because all my life is here now. But I still do feel a bit foreign. But in terms of foreigners in Malaysia in general, even people from my own country, there is a lot here. So we do fill up that gap with people and Arabs all over Malaysia.
Okay, so today what I'll speak with you with is about student life in general, a foreign student life in Malaysia, whether it's personal finance or income or sports or work-life balance, all that kind of stuff. So can you talk about yourself to the audience?
All right. So once again, my name is Ahmed. So I've been in Malaysia for almost 9 years now. I have took my high school here ever since grade 6. And I have graduated from this high school, then transitioned to this university, Xiamen, and I do software engineering here. So although my parents stay here, I do still live on campus, same as other students. And but I do go home, to my parents' home in Malaysia. So I'm not that much of an international. I can relate with the Malaysian students more. But in terms of maybe my vision, my language, it's very similar or even the same as the foreigners in Malaysia. So I can find myself relating to both there. Yeah.
Okay, how about we start talking about student finance?
Yeah.
Since I think it's one of the more important points, if it'd be fair for it to be the first. Right.
Let's go.
Let's talk about the first point. How do you handle your monthly expenses as a foreign student?
Okay, so starting from my perspective, honestly, you first need to manage your source of income itself. You need to identify what's your source of income, whether it's allowances, whether it's
No, talk about it as if the source of income is allowance.
as a sort of money is allowance. That's the thing, honestly. So you just need to gauge it, look at it in terms of the amount perspective, and just like you can build a baseline from that. So let's assume that rent is paid, which is almost like 20 or 30% of your budget if you're living on a cheaper campus per se. And then your next biggest expense would be food. In general, you would need to allocate, I think, like most of the money towards the food, maybe even more than 50%. Then you also need to factor in your entertainment purposes, such as going to the restaurants and hanging out with friends in general. So you would need to set a limit, of course, for that, and as well need to keep an emergency fund for that reason. So it could go as the following: 40% for the rent, let's say around 40-50% for food, and you have the remaining 25%. You could use some of it to maybe invest, work on yourself, or you could just use it as savings. That's how you manage your personal finance in Malaysia as a student.
Okay. You spoke about plans. Do you usually, like realistically, do you usually follow those plans or do you just go with the flow?
All right, so it's gonna be initially hard to follow plans, especially if you're in the first year of university, right? There's gonna be a lot of like sunken costs, maybe especially in the first year. You need to buy the appliances, maybe you need to buy new clothes, new stuff. You would need to sink a lot of money into that. But honestly, if you manage to like keep up after the first or second month, your plan could realistically hit. Let's say you budget maybe a certain amount, like maybe 30 ringgit or less for food or more for food per day. You could easily hit the target if you don't spend on 2 or 3 star restaurant. If you go to like less, more affordable restaurants,
Or if you cook at home, maybe.
or if you cook at home, that's the biggest, maybe that could be the biggest contributor to like saving money. If you initially pick up that skill, is the most essential to it. Just basically cook your own food, and you can realistically hit the goal. But I would say in the first 1 or 2 months, it would be a bit harder. But as long as you find, basically, you find them routine in Malaysia, you find maybe the foods you like, you find maybe some meal prep guides could help you. You find your recipes that you like, you could easily save on the food and handle less new expenses. That's
Yeah. So, what tips would you give for people to save money other than making their own food or meal prepping?
So I would say not essentially like maybe not trying to keep up with the flow. Maybe not with the flow with current trends, especially in clothing or in tech. Not essentially having to buy the latest maybe model of anything, or trying to please maybe friends, or like mix into the crowd by buying any of that stuff. You would essentially like save a lot of money if you buy like functional items, or even you could explore like the secondhand market in Malaysia. You have carousel apps and moda apps. They're very like crucial when it comes to saving money. You could easily save around 30 or 40% if you buy your item used. And the second thing is not splurge out like too much on maybe on going out with friends, right? So people could, if you spend all your money like in going out to malls and stuff, you would essentially basically blow out your budget. But if you keep it more chill, more low key, you would have maybe less frequent hangouts, maybe less hangouts which take a lot of money. You could easily hit that target. So just buy used, and then just be aware of how you're using your money for entertainment.
How would a person recover actually if they splurged?
So first
Because
question.
from our past experiences, if a person does that, it will really affect the plan,
Mm,
and some people would just uh, continue splurging as if like, okay, it's already broken, so let me just go
mm.
all the way.
So one solution is to maybe borrow a bit money. But as a student, me and you, we've always been hit with the like it's 10 days left until the end of the month, and we barely have anything to spare. So I guess all of our meals are homemade from now. But as a student, you unfortunately hit some of these obstacles. You will eventually run into some of these situations. What you could do basically, like realistically, just like try to keep up, survive until like the next day of allowance, to the next month of the allowance. Buy cheaper meals. Try not to like splurge too much. Maybe skip on some hangouts. Don't skip meals, of course. You still keep up to, you still manage to keep healthy if you eat if you eat homemade food every time. And but if you can't, if you really can't, like even have your basic needs, apply basic whether it's fuel, gas, or food in general, you need to maybe borrow a bit until the end of the month, which really isn't a lot, because food in Malaysia is one of the like cheaper aspects in it. It's very much cheaper than even maybe it's very comparable to like countries like to third world countries, and even way cheaper when it comes to Europe or it comes to studying abroad.
Yeah, that
I
is
think
very
food
true.
here is very affordable.
Yeah. Especially if you cook, if you like buy the groceries and cook it.
Yeah. When I say affordable in terms of like like cooking itself, like when you're cooking, even when you go to restaurants, it's not that expensive compared to them. But still, these restaurants have a huge overhead cost. They need to like make profit, of course, so they would charge sometimes exorbitant prices. So we need to like be aware of how much we spend.
Just to finish this off,
Hmm.
um, what do you think would be common factors that would affect a student's financial stability? Like, what are some challenges?
Okay, what are some challenges? I would say is like the emergency costs. Let's say your laptop breaks, your phone breaks. Okay, that could be that is the very hard. That's the sudden that's the sudden what do you call it, loss of money, or the sudden need to spend a lot of money to fix something. For that, I would really recommend like an emergency fund. Let's say maybe 500 ringgit or 1,000, just to keep you afloat if something happens. If in case you need to replace your phone or replace your laptop. And other than that, I would say maybe visa costs. Sometimes there is like increases in prices and tuition fees. It's not like sometimes it's dynamic. Sometimes a new tax will affect you as a student, so you would need to basically keep, be able to keep up with that, or set an emergency fund in order to help you with that. And you can even ask for adjust your allowance to cover all that, or maybe
Just
just
your
ask
allowance.
for also.
That's simple.
Hmm?
Adjust your allowance. Oh,
I mean, it's of course you cannot survive on like the same amount of allowance for like 4 or 5 years. It's not realistic, since
yeah.
there's an inflation, there's like prices of food and rent increase. I'm sure you, even in this uni, it affected to some extent. So you would maybe need to look into some part-time or like some other ways to increase your income. That would be like the best long-term solution. But for now, you could maybe like try to negotiate your allowances up if your monetary situation help with that.
I remember you mentioned the food prep,
Mm.
right? And you have been pestering me nonstop
Oh yeah.
for a few months right now
Mm.
to meal prep.
Mm.
So can you give me and the audience like tips on how to start the meal prep?
Okay, so I would say, so I came from a gym background, so I really resonate with that idea of meal prepping a lot. So you would need to find basically your go-to meal, because meal prep is all about like repetition. It's all about eating like kind of the same stuff every day. It doesn't have to be that way, but it would help you like save a lot of time. Not only money, it's like time when preparing food. So just basically step one is you find the meal you like. Let's say maybe rice and chicken, and maybe in a stir-fried manner with some veggies on the side to keep a healthy meal. And just try to cook for maybe like 3-4 days at a time. If you really want, you could go once a week, because it would really save a lot of time. But maybe just try to cook like twice a week type stuff, and then you would just basically save a lot of time on it. But make sure you of course have a fridge to keep that item stored safely, and then you would easily like save a lot of time reheating the food and stuff. But try to always come up with like new recipes and new foods, maybe new sources of protein you would like. It would help you enjoy the maybe like the meal prepping in general, because the food you eat is not that fresh every day, but you would get used to it. It would really save you a lot of time. Even it's, I think, way faster than using takeout or using any of the delivery apps. It's a very good method to do.
Well, what would you say is the best meal prep ingredient and the best tool to cook?
All right, I think like as a student, right, you're limited in terms of like cooking appliances. So you would need a rice cooker. That would be your go-to, a rice cooker, and just like an air fryer. That's like the most beginner, straightforward stuff.
What would you choose over one another? Would you
No,
take
you
the rice
need both.
cooker or the air fryer?
Yeah, no, you would need both. They go hand in hand. Like, because you need some way to make like rice, to make like some carbohydrates, and you need the other to make like you to cook your protein.
But
So
you could cook the protein with the rice.
with the rice in the rice cooker itself,
I
you
can make some
could
really
do.
good chicken rice with it.
You could do, but it helps like sweet. It would help like what do you call it? It would help like faster your meal
Oh,
prep,
fast.
because you need a lot of appliances to do.
That is true. Yeah.
A lot of some people may opt to use like induction cookers, but it's not practical to use here, since it produces like a lot of smoke. It takes like maybe some more skill if you do it, maybe
It
some more cleaning,
also needs a lot more time.
a lot more time as well. Like, but honestly, I think that would cook the tastiest dishes, right? But the reason I chose like rice cookers and air fryers is because they're the easiest to use in general.
And the way you fix up the food is just add a
Yeah, basically, you just add some seasoning, flip it twice,
ketchup,
and yeah, that's it.
half a bottle of ketchup at each
A
meal.
bottle of ketchup needs to keep it straight. But yeah, you would get used to. You just need those two appliances. They're very cheap and easy to keep. So that's my go-to appliances.
Go to your appliances. Do you have anything else to say on this topic?
So I think it's generally like as a boy experience in general, we don't really like get to cook a lot as like girls used to. But and it would be very expensive a lot of the times to keep eating in the restaurants every time. So try to at least like maybe like lessen the amount of times you're eating in restaurants per day, in restaurants per week. Maybe keep it down to like 3 or 4 now every day, and try to integrate like cooking, like cooking in general, like to your routine, just as long that it does not like take a lot of time from your studies and does not hinder you.
Maybe master like one recipe.
Yep, just master the recipe or just use meal prep. It will help you like save a lot of like money, and it would also like keep you away from like all the maybe all the food poisoning that could come from like the sketchy late night mamac sessions sometimes.
So if someone asks you, can you cook? Would you say yes?
Okay,
Because whenever someone asks me, I say I can cook for survival.
okay. So again, as a boy, I would say I also cook for survival sometimes.
Okay.
But sometimes, but like a lot of the times, like the reason I cook a lot is because you need to hit a protein goal. It's not really realistic, especially in Malaysia, to like eat healthy, like especially in the restaurants. And I'm a victim of that. I'm trying to recover. They are sometimes very high on saturated fats, so high on carbs, very very high on sugars a lot. So the Malaysian diet sometimes is like, I would say, not the healthiest. Not that my countries back home is any healthier, but it's always like the local cuisine is like good, so you can't really be healthy, like be keep on the healthy lifestyle while eating it. You'd need to maybe like include a lot of like home cooking and like meal prepping to like adjust to a nice healthier lifestyle and transition that. So my advice is basically just try to go for like local fresh ingredients as much as you can. Include some veggies, include some fruits. It will help you like
What are like 2 veggies, 2 fruits that are very practical?
2 veggies, 2 fruits are kind of practical. I mean I would go for the ones with the most shelf life, such as maybe oranges and apples. They really don't spoil. You don't even need like a fridge to keep them. And what do you call it? And vegetables in general, honestly, it could be a hassle to keep on buying like fresh greens every time. So an easier one for me is just buying prepackaged frozen vegetables. They're already pre-cut. They're easy to do. Just keep them on the skillet, throw them, like boil them away, and then they would give you like your day's intake of fiber. They're very easy to.
And your stomach eventually gets used to them, huh?
Yup, your stomach is used to them, but it's not as bad as you think because they still do keep up some of their, especially fibers. They still keep up some of their benefits, but it's always better to buy fresh. But if you're a uni student, you're always going for, saving time,
I
saving
mean,
effort.
in my case,
Mm,
I go buy groceries every week.
mm,
I get chicken
mm.
and vegetables for the week,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't think it takes that much time.
It does not take that much time through, but like if you especially go for the
You would rather get something that would last you months.
honestly, yeah, that's like I dislike going to the shopping.
Would you rather buy frozen proteins or fresh?
Okay, that's a no. I would go with the frozen ones as well. It would be still a hassle if you wanna go and, like, buy fresh every time, especially if you don't have, like, maybe a vehicle to travel in Malaysia and stuff. So I would really go for the frozen stuff. They really, like, keep months and months, and they're easy to, like, thing. And they also, like, could save your budget a lot, so because, let's say at the start of the month, you could buy, like, groceries for the whole month, really. It's really an easy way to gauge how much money you're able to spend more and not overspend. And at the same time, really, it's still food, it still counts as protein. I would still go for them any time of the day. But in terms of taste in general, I would say the fresh one takes it. So if you have like if you have a unique, not a unique, if you have like a, really high expectations or standards of what you're eating, I suggest you go with the fresh. But I mean, if you're the average Joe, really, you could thrive with like frozen stuff,
You could thrive.
Yep, you could thrive, I mean, I'm still alive.
Okay, okay. I do want to go back to talk about finance and income, since I really wanted to get your points on them.
Yeah.
But before that, how about we speak about sport and balance?
Oh, sport and balance, nice.
Since you spoke about the gym,
Yes.
right? So the first question would be, how has sports been integrated in your daily routine as a foreign student in Malaysia?
All right. So as a foreign student in Malaysia, like it's very like I think for boys in general, I'm speaking as a boy's perspective. We always tend to like stick with the sport, whether it be the gym, whether it be like any physical sport, and maybe like try to like always like and play it for the rest of our lives. Maybe we're really like limited to that, and we're really good in terms of that part. So I would say for me personally, the gym has like helped me like maybe deal with the basically improve my body, keep up to the healthy standard, healthy living standard. And I would say the gym has a really like low barrier of entry. There's like so many hours you could start with. It's not the like the scariest sport in terms of other stuff. It's not as much. It's not competitive. It's only you against yourself. So I would say it really helped me a lot in terms of like trying to stay active, trying to stay healthy, and at the same time it could also affect what your like your daily diet. You would of course need to like if you need to build up a very good physique. You of course need to like you have your food dialed in. So it would really help you in terms of the aspect. And not to forget sport, not to forget football, not to forget volleyball or any other like group sports. I would say they're even more motivating in terms of like the competitiveness like the competitiveness aspect. And you always have someone to like push you to play that game. You have someone to compete with. It's almost automatically like guaranteed to have you enjoy the sport. But you could also apply the same to the gym if you like pick up a partner, train together, and have like some coordinated sessions in order to help you with your fitness journey.
What would be your best workout then?
So my best workout plan, I would say it really varies. Like
No,
it's not
your
best.
best one
My
workout.
best one go-to workout plan. All right,
Not plan,
not plan.
just set.
Oh, just exercise. You mean?
Exercise.
Exercise. You mean? Okay. Okay. Nothing can. Okay. You really cannot go wrong with the bench. Really,
Bench.
it's a very good like compound exercise. It's the most like gym bro exercise in a gym. Really, all the gym people would know that.
It's the first thing you ask someone.
Yeah, it's like how much do you bench? It's conversation starter, right? You would always need to like, yeah, man, I rep hundreds, 100.
How much you rep?
So I normally rep like 90, but last week actually I've managed to hit like 100 kilos for like 5. I would say like that's my most like impressive lift on the thing.
Would that be your biggest achievement in life?
Okay. Aside from could be. No, not really, not really. I mean, I hope I'll graduate with this degree, which would be my biggest achievement.
Hopefully with
Hopefully.
distinction.
Yep, inshallah. That's inshallah in 2 years' time. Of course, I mean, as a student here, your first objective would be to pass and get the degree. That's like your goal. It should be for everybody. So that would be your biggest achievement. But you still have to survive in this country. You still have to like have a social life.
So these sports kind of also help with the social life, right?
100%. Like you get to know a lot of people there, especially in the gym. The gym community in like Malaysia is not like I would say it's not like it's not as much like vibrant and like engaging as back home, because our people are like so social like Arabs and stuff. But it's still there is still like a feeling of like warmness, and like everybody is able to
And also belonging, right?
yeah, and belonging as well. Like nobody's there to critique you. Everybody there is like to help you. There's no like judgy eyes. Everybody like would not think twice if you ask them to help you in a set, or maybe like to work out with them. It's like a very welcoming environment, and a lot of people are scared to go to the gym because like maybe they're kind of in the beginning their body is not like it's not sculpted as those who are experienced. But really there's no like judgment. Like from what I saw here, everybody's welcoming, unless you're a group of like 14-year-old kids who are coming to make a ruckus around the bench area. But still, that these guys, like everybody does belong in the gym as well, and there is barely any cases of like bullying.
So does that mean sports in general, let's say, will help you with mental health, confidence, focus?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like sport itself, right? They would help you sometimes to even like make out if you're having like a very bad week. You're like, okay, no worries. I can make it. If I can make it to Saturday, I have like a football game. It could really like be a source of like Like you easily turn off your mind. You don't even have to think if you do it. If that's in case you love it, even you could build up that same energy and like manner attitude towards the gym in general if you're that type of guy. And the gym itself, of course, will you will reap its benefits. You will have a nicer body. You'll be more confident, and you will eventually have a better social life.
Okay, would you say the sports culture or gym culture is the same or different? Or like, how would you compare them between Egypt and Malaysia?
All right. So okay. So in terms of like maybe sport awareness or like healthy awareness, right? I would say Egypt is a bit lacking, unfortunately, in terms of that case. We don't really in Egypt is maybe just because it's more densely populated, people tend to live more together, more couple. There's not as much like empty spaces in Malaysia. There's not as many parks. Not a lot of people tend to like not a lot of older people tend to go out to play in like sports. So you see the gym there, the gym culture, the sport culture is only limited to like people like in their 20s or even under 20. You would barely find an older person who plays like sports here there in Egypt. But I would say in Malaysia it's a bit more different. There is like a nicer there's a nicer, like the gym always have like a nicer distribution of demographics. There's always people from like different ages. But still in Malaysia, like
I mean, you see the jogging culture very popular here
yeah,
in the mornings,
yeah,
at night.
yeah. I wish you could have this like back home.
Organized.
I wish you could have this back home, right? But there's not that much like that sport awareness people like should have. But it's I think it's developing even in the countries, right? People are getting more exposed to information that could help them with that. But just yeah, I would wish more people just know about it, about the benefits they can help him with.
Sure. What would you say is your favorite physical activity besides the
All right, besides the gym, basically a physical, my favorite like cardiovascular activity, basically, right? The engine.
sports activity in general, yani?
Okay, sport activity in general. All right, I would say actually competitive, like running. I would say like
Competitive running.
long distance running or short distance running in general. Anything with like competitiveness there. Even though like I'm not a very good runner, even especially a long distance runner, I'm not a very good distance runner. But if there is a chance of like a marathon, a 5K run, or like a 100-meter race, I would jump at the opportunity. It's always fun to like compete with your peers. So just basically like jogging and long distance running or like short distance running. That's my go-to activities.
So you would prefer that over hiking and volleyball and
I mean,
handball?
okay, I used to be a really, I really, I'm not good handball player. I really maybe like aspiring handball player. In general. I had too much hopes for that sport, but ever since I finished high school, I barely touched the ball again. I don't think I've played it again. But it's not about handball in general. It's about like the sense of competitiveness, right? In running, like there's always like your best achievement is like your time. How much can you finish? How much?
Wait, if that's your main point,
Mm.
then why don't you play football or futsal?
Okay, football, futsal. There's like a lot of. It doesn't necessarily mean like if you score goals, that means you're like a good player, right? There's like a lot of ways to be considered as a good player, like a good like keepers themselves, right? They don't get many like they don't really get like many notice or like support for being like very good.
The recognition, basically.
Yeah, not enough recognition, right? And even defenders in general, right? So there's not always like, oh, I'm better than you, like, or does not you can't make it that way, right? But in terms of running, it's always like clear. It's always who's faster than the other. Really, it does not matter like their moves, their technique, or what is going on. It just matters like how much, like what is their earliest time they can finish. I think it's the most like straightforward sport.
So
Like I think it's
you
the
like
best.
still
Like
simple.
yeah, I would say it's like the best measure of like competitiveness or like reward. But you really cannot compare that with like group sports as football. Oh, another thing is like being a group sport in general. I would really gravitate more to individual sports, like
Individual sport.
individual sports, as like for my case, right? But I think the vast majority of people do support like any group like sports like football and stuff, right? It does build a nice, teamwork, a nice team in general. But for me, honestly, like as a person who likes some competitiveness in his life, I would really go for individual sports any time of the day. So I would just say running would be like a very easy or a very straightforward like sport to do that.
Okay. So I would say that you're coming for the run in 2 hours.
Yep. Oh, that thing. No, unfortunately, I have not joined this yet. I have other sports.
You're lying through your teeth right now.
No, but I mean, I would jump at any opportunity
It's
for a
fine.
marathon.
Fine. Fine. All right. I think we've spoken enough about sports, about balance. I would say sports is one of the aspects of life where it's the easiest that you could balance out your life with, right? It's easier to do sports than a community activity or something.
So okay.
And sports itself can also be counted as like a communal thing where people get to know each other, check back on each other and stuff, right? So this would mark a great point for us to go back to the original topic, which is about finance. And I would like to delve more into like the income aspect of it, the growth basically.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people may know that, okay, in Malaysia, you as a student, when you graduate, maybe you won't really have a future because the moment you finish your degree, there's no visa for you, at least for our countries. I think there is a new graduate visa that is helping on. But for us, at least, there's no visa. You have to go back to your own country and you have to like find work from outside and stuff. So people might think that, oh, okay, there's not really room for growth in Malaysia, right? So I specifically want to discuss about this topic. But how about we start about just the general topic? Like, do you think there are opportunities for income or for growth in Malaysia?
There is definitely like opportunities growth in Malaysia. Like there is a lot of like business sectors who are really gravitating towards like foreigners, especially in like maybe the lecturers type of like they always need like international professors, international like lecturers, right? And I personally know a lot of people who could manage to still sneak out like an IT job here and there as foreign students, right? But people tend to like really want like maybe like staying for in like working in like European countries, right? Even Malaysian people themselves, they would really like to go to the West. But in terms of Malaysia, right? Maybe because we're restricted by visa, we're always rushed to like go back home and stuff. But still, if you're really keen on like keeping in Malaysia, right? You could apply to like different a lot of different like companies or be happy like maybe to accept you and even like help you with your visa or maybe even like try to extend your duration of study in Malaysia. Like it's like coming as a bachelor student, right? It's only like a stepping stone to like towards masters and postgraduate
Then
degree,
PhD,
right?
so
So what a lot of people do is if they like it here, they would often continue like having their masters and PhD here. And we'd often like hear a lot of stories about like their maybe their success. They always like manage to like break out into like very good jobs. A lot of like university lecturers, specifically if you have like postgraduate degrees. But you could still like manage to land a nice entry level job. Just like if you find the right company, if you have the good enough skill set for that, doesn't mean you always have to like go back home and do it. But that would but that would be like that would still be your goal because your visa is not about to like it's not like a look for work visa. It's only like what a study visa. So maybe look into some like other ways. Even if you go back home, strategize, and if you want to continue study here, you may do so, or you could just try to apply from there, back home or there to help you.
okay. So in Malaysia, you as a student, you cannot work, right? Unless you have a permit or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if bachelor students can get it.
Yeah.
But are there still ways to get income
So
legally?
yeah, so Malaysia is not like the EU countries where you like are allocated like a certain amount of hours. Actually, it is. I think I hear it is. You could work up to 20 hours a week, but it's not like directly enforced. Not enforced, I would say. Not a lot of people know about it. And at the same time, Malaysia's like structure is not like accommodating to that. Like working as a student here, especially if you don't know the language. But honestly, there's like a lot of like maybe legal ways or like to get some more income on the side. My first would go to like the first thing you would do is like try to look inside your uni itself. They're always like looking for student helpers for events. They're always looking for like movers.
Even teacher assistants.
Yeah, even the TAs in some unis, not all of them, of course. Some TAs get especially if you post like a really nice GPA, you could really do your way in a nice TA job, and you could always get consistent allowances. But on the other side, there's always like university gigs that like comes up every now and then, and the university itself gives you that job. And if you really can't do that, I would suggest you would maybe go for like some tutoring jobs. Tutor jobs are very like flexible here. They're online. If you just do it like maybe you could target your friends, your people who you study with, or maybe just like teach English in general. Teaching English is like everybody's like go-to method a lot. At the whether it be at the eyes level or like the kids level, it's a nice way to like earn some extra money on the side if you have that. And eventually, if you have like the same skill set for to teach on any other like subjects such as physics or maths, you could do so. And it's a really nice way to get some extra income on the side. But it's not like it's always not like realistic to depend only on that money. You would need to have like the support of maybe your parents back home to keep you with like sustainable allowances, because the situation in Malaysia is not like it's not like your work here can pay for everything. You will still need some money to support you.
I would say the only way you could like 100% rely on yourself is if you have an online job from back home
Oh yeah.
where you already have a stable client,
Yeah.
whether it's in the like design or
Yeah.
automation or anything,
Yeah.
right? Because here finding clients is very hard, even for tutoring.
I mean, you still cannot rely on like one client, of course,
Yeah,
because
obviously.
it's still like a gig job, honestly, right? And since you're only like, and if you even if you go like the legal route of like working maybe in a convenience store, you're only allocated like I think 20 hours per week. It's like not enough to sustain you. But you would need to like very be like have like a lot of profession in that field. Maybe it's like design and stuff. Have consistent customers, consistent clients. But I would suggest you still like need a nice healthy like balance in the bank. Just maybe in the first year itself, in the first
Okay.
year to gauge, and some parents to support you.
Then what would you say to someone like what realistic thing would you say to someone who wants to come to Malaysia to study and wants to be financially independent?
All right. So one thing I would say to Malaysia is like it's not like other EU countries. Of course, you can't really like. It's not as easy to find jobs here, especially if you do not know the local language. And even though this local like this minimum wage jobs sometimes really do take a lot of like time, and they're not like you would really like struggle to keep a work life balance. So I would suggest you like have some sort of like a skill set, maybe some design, some tutoring, some stuff to do it on the side, like as a part-time job. Like I would really not advise you to go opt in for like a full-time job, especially in Malaysia. But you should have like the realistic expectation, like to at least in the first or like the first 2 3 the first 1 or 2 years, to have the support of like still your parents, even though like to have some emergency fund back home to keep you supported with that. And if you find like your rhythm here, if maybe your tutoring thrives a bit, because a lot of people can charge like it's a very like you could really charge a lot in terms of like tutoring, right? It's not limited to like part-time jobs where you're getting paid like 7 8 ringgit per hour. You could end up easily up to like 50 or 60 70 whatever. So I would say in the first year, in the first or second year, have the support of maybe your parents back home, have like a steady allowance to keep up with that. And eventually you will like find basically you will know how to save on money better. You'll know how to like get your finances better, and maybe get some any sort of like extra income or hustles, which would really help you. So yeah, just like be mindful of like not traveling there without like any financial preparation, any emergency funds, and that's it. You'll be good.
You spoke about skills like tutoring, designing, and stuff. What do you think? Give me 3 skills. Do you think that are very very important, basically for students to have to be able to earn money later on?
Okay, later on. Okay, so for now, okay, so for your question, right? So the most three important skills in my opinion, right? Maybe one is a like a very is a hot take. but not necessarily. The first one would be like tutoring. It's a straight, it's like a giveaway answer. It's really flexible. You could work online or abroad. The second one would be like all the IT related stuff, maybe like designing, arts, 3D modeling and stuff, right? They're always like needed in the market. Photography, any paths related to like IT in general.
The digital world.
Hmm?
Digital jobs.
Yeah, just digital jobs in general, right? Anything that allows you to like work online,
Remote.
to work remotely, they would help you with that. And the last one would be like a certain, I would say, is like investing, whether it be like long-term investing, term investing into like the stock market or into crypto, into any into any fund that could keep you like, keep your money, or like keep your money growing and steady in the long run. Of course, as like students, we're not you're not expected to like, straight away make profit. Sometimes it's always advised to have, to go in with the long-term investing attitude, to invest like maybe a portion of like 15 to 20% of your allowance into just any stock market, and eventually if you learn about trading and about like and pick up at it, be practice a lot, or even just like buy your money into like some blue chip stocks, put all of your money, or like safe investments, you would really like keep your money, just basically you would keep an extra money for the long run. It would really help you maybe in your like second, third year, maybe not essentially straight away make profit. So I would suggest that. So maybe if you don't really like to save money, you just need to keep it like working, like, you want to keep the money like moving, I'll suggest you look into some like long-term investing options, such as the S&P 500, the Malaysia Bursa stocks, and in just basically any other safe stock that you could keep for a long time and get dividends.
Okay. It was nice to hear all of that from you. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about that you didn't have the chance to say?
So maybe I would just like highlight a bit of like the mentality part in Malaysia, the mentality of like people who come here, right? So some people do like expect this country to be like very like, to be very like, I would say like workaholic in terms of like the EU countries and stuff. People have like their jobs, people have their universities is really like, tough. But here in Malaysia, I think it's a bit more relaxed in terms of that. Like lectures here are more like chill, and people here are like more welcoming, more easygoing. Especially if you don't study, if you're not like in the major cities, if you're not in KL and that all that. So in Malaysia, it's like it's all about like just basically don't get your like don't get your like standards, or like be too nervous to interact with the local people here. They're really chill, even the lecturers. And at the same time, don't expect it to be like so easy and like so like welcoming. You still need to like have a nice social life, a nice amount of interacting, and eventually like you still need to study. You still need to study all the courses. It's not like, it's not like a straight forced CGPA if you 4.0 if you barely attend classes and that. So just basically, don't expect like too much work, and like don't, and also at the same time don't expect like less work. It's always like, some moderate work, and there's a lot of ways you could work, like, you could divide, or maybe like restructure your study habits and like social habits into to fit like with Malaysia's culture and climate.
Okay, it was very nice hearing from you today. And for everyone watching, it would be nice if you could tell us your opinions in the comments below. This is not comment farming. This is gaining feedback from the audience.
Yeah, sure.
How about to end things off on a good note? Why don't we play a mini game?
Sure.
Right. We have a small mini game, maybe like 1 minute mini game. It would be just I'll give you two things and you choose between them.
All right, sure.
And you tell me why.
Sure.
Right. So for example, first thing would be, would you rather get nasi lemak or a shawarma?
Oh, here's the question. Okay, it depends on what time of the day. You cannot have a shawarma in the morning, right? They're very two different things. All right. So right now, I would get a shawarma because it's like 6 in the evening, right? But in the morning, I would do nasi lemak. But for now, I would go with the shawarma. Even the Malay people would.
If you are stranded on an island and the only meal you could have consistently is either of the
No,
the nasi lemak is with chicken.
nasi lemak with chicken, nasi lemak ayam goreng. Okay, the only meal I would have, honestly, I would still go with the nasi lemak. No, I would change myself to the nasi lemak.
You would change
Because it's a more complete meal, I would say.
It's a
Shawarma is
complete
like just like a late night snack, or like, you know, just something to fill up your hunger, you know. It's not like an everyday type thing for me.
Which one tastes better?
All right, going off pure taste, generally, right? I would say it's like the shawarma, right?
Oh,
Less.
all the Malaysians are not.
They would agree, like shawarma shops here are very like popular. They're like, if you go to Damascus and like KL, it's always like so busy. There's barely any like place to breathe.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. This is a weird question,
yeah,
especially to you.
yeah.
Futsal or football?
Okay, especially to me, I don't have experience with both, right? But
Yeah.
if I was to choose, I would do football, because
Why
like
football?
it's bigger, you know. It's accommodating to like a lot of different people, right? And there's always like, you don't have to be like a skilled footballer. In the case of like football, you could always like just like, you know,
Run.
run, shoot. Sometimes you're lucky, but in terms of futsal, it's way more technical. I would not like go with it too much. I would say football is king for me.
All right. Last one. KL or Cairo?
KL or Cairo? Oh no, it's definitely KL. Come on, man.
Definitely KL.
So like I only have like distant memories from ever since I was like under 11 years old of how Cairo was like, how my home country was like in general. But KL is more closer to heart, you know. There, it's always there's always activities to do there. It's a city that never sleeps, really. So I would really choose KL. You know, it's different hangouts, different Arab shops open at like 3 a.m. for a quick bite in Arab restaurants. And yeah, so it's definitely KL for me.
All right. It was very pleasing to be with you today. Thank you for the honor
No, is it?
having me of letting me host you for our episode today. I think we have to go.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are coming in. So for everyone watching, thank you very much for watching until now. If you would like an episode in Malay, please type in the comments. We can accommodate for that too. And goodbye, everyone.